And that has kind of caught on like wildfire.
So, John, let me just see if I understand this right. You have caused more damage.
I'm not happy about
happened
this.
in the past.
Let me be very clear.
No. But that's the problem, right?
Yeah. Well, it evolved. Some folks use it for, the Google reCAPTCHA or the Cloudflare turnstile.
So let me pivot to this then. Do you think there's a lot of opportunities for younger people or people who want to pivot into this industry and become like you? Are there opportunities still, or do you think AI is taking all the opportunities away? What's your take on that?
Ooh, good question. There are absolutely opportunities. I don't want anyone to feel like, I missed the boat. The window's gone. The opportunity just isn't there anymore. No, AI is cool. It's crazy and incredible, and it's going to give you superpowers. It's worthwhile to know and play in that pool, but don't ever feel like, hey, there's no room left for you or anyone else. Absolutely keep in it.
Hey everyone, David Bombal back with a really amazing guest who I'm sure most of you know. John Hammond, great to meet you in person, dude.
Hey, David, it's great to be here. Finally in person. It's kind of incredible to see you face to face and get a chance to chat.
Exactly. It's been a while, man. We've been talking for a while, and it's taken a long time for us to actually meet.
I know. Well, hey, you're kind of a little bit further away than I am, but it's great to be able to have an opportunity to get together.
So, John, you're so respected in the industry. You've done such amazing work. People love what you're doing. And I just want to pick your brain, right? You're in the trenches, dealing with all kinds of threats, malware, etc. What's the state of hacking at the moment?
Ooh, okay. Well, there are a lot of whole different directions we could kind of go in this. I feel like you see a lot of the same old, and that's never really going to go away. People chatting about ransomware, people chatting about, infostealer malware, really kind of traditional on the endpoint stuff. You still have things that are now in the cloud, if we throw in that big buzzword, right? But oftentimes that's in like a Microsoft 365 or an Entra ID like environment. But that could go everywhere, right? That could be AWS, that could be GCP, blah, 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 blah. I know the big hot topic is going to be AI.
Of course. Of course. How's that affecting things? Yeah.
So, look, I'll be honest. I have drank the AI Kool-Aid. I don't think I've had the whole gallon. I think I'm like a little bit of it though, but like I'm having fun. I like Claude Code. I use Cursor quite a bit. I think it's cool.
Oh, so you vibe coding?
I do. Yeah, I'll admit I dabble in the vibe code. I think it is fun.
Someone like you doing vibe coding. Come on, John, you can write this stuff
the hard way.
That's the
thing. But it's fast. It can crank it out much faster than I can. And when I can say like, hey, I've got this idea. I have these puzzle pieces that I just want to put together. Can you orchestrate this? And then it does. And that is phenomenal. I'll be the first to admit. But to the point when you're saying, hey, how does this look in the whole world of hacking and in cybersecurity and in malware?
Because it feels like, sorry to interrupt, the attackers have a big advantage using all these AI tools, perhaps. I don't know. What are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, there really still needs to be, hey, the concepts and understanding of, what could we put where to make a payload or some malware effective? If you're building this out for, let me say, okay, red teaming and penetration testing and good intended activities for security testing. But yeah, obviously you get to the cyber criminals and more illicit, illegal threat actor, bad hacker stuff. You just still need to say, let's make sure that we're using the Win32 API function. We're not shelling out. You just need to know the techniques that are the right things to do. And if you can instruct the AI or the element to do that, yeah, you still need some of that human understanding to get it through.
I want to thank Brilliant for sponsoring this video. Is it aluminum or aluminium? Is it math or maths? It doesn't matter what you call it. But in today's world, it's really important that you have an understanding of mathematics. And a great way to learn mathematics is not to just watch a video or read a book, but to get involved in your learning. And to help you with that, we have the Brilliant platform, which I think and my team think are brilliant. They help you learn by doing rather than just memorizing boring facts. So as an example, in their hands-on, newly updated visual algebra course, you'll master patterns, then linear and quadratic expressions. You'll tackle exponential and periodic patterns, and even have a look at equivalent expressions. All of this helps you build a solid foundation in mathematics. You'll tackle interactive challenges and notice how abstract concepts become easier for you to understand and process. Brilliant's training is intuitive, and they focus on what's useful so that you don't waste your time. This method of studying is very, very effective. So if you want to understand mathematics rather than just survive it, have a look at Brilliant today using my link, brilliant.org/David Bombal, or you can scan the QR code on screen. You'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription. So use my link or scan the QR code on screen to improve your mathematics skills today.
I mean, you had Huntress, and you guys are dealing with this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm assuming that you're seeing, well, correct me if I'm wrong, that you're seeing attacks now that are being launched with AI.
Yes, especially a lot that are developed and made with AI. There are a couple telltales that are still hard to spot, but you'll see some comments in the code or some of the function names that are probably maybe a little bit more expressive than they needed to be because an LLM put that together. There's been a really cool sample that's been kind of hitting the streets, I think, a few weeks back now. It's recent. That would use an LLM internal and like embedded in its runtime. So think of or imagine, hey, you have sort of amorphous or sort of moving or manipulated kind of thing that can mutate or change based off of the input or whatever it sees in the environment. Give that to an LLM. Yeah. There's some cool creativity there.
So is the code calling an LLM or is it running a local LLM?
Yes, it would actually, I think, reach out to some of the Hugging Face modules.
Oh, yeah?
I'd have to find the sample and show it to you, but it is a wild thing.
Next video, man.
Yeah, totally.
That'd be good. So, yeah, sorry to interrupt. So carry on. So you're seeing more and more of the AI stuff out there, right?
Yes. And I'll be the first to admit, hey, it's not everywhere. It's not all the time. But that does, without a doubt, enable and arm folks to build stuff, good, bad, or ugly.
So dodgy question.
Yeah.
Gut feel, right? Okay. What percentage is like the traditional way and like AI way? Is it like 2%
question.
or like 20, 10%?
I would probably go 20 to 30% AI.
Already?
Yeah. To be honest, for sure. And it's a little, I'll say the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
They say a lot of, hackers, sophisticated hackers did sophisticated attacks, and that's a loaded word. But when you see things like phishing kits or kind of online, a scam, some lure, some deceit, that is more often than not crap together with AI.
Yeah, because I mean, phishing is the one that comes to mind, right?
Yeah.
With ChatGPT or whatever LLM, Hugging Face LLMs, you can write really good emails.
Yeah.
But I saw recently you've got the situation where it looks like an image.
Polyglot file can appear as a pretty image of a panda, but can also have malicious intent.
But when it's loaded on Linux, it runs malware code.
Yes.
So, I mean, that was AI generated. So are you seeing more and more of that stuff? It's not just phishing. It's also actual malware. It's actual code that's being launched.
Can I tell you, and this might be a rabbit hole.
You can tell me whatever you want.
No, this is totally a tangent. We're going to fall off the cliff if that's all right. But one of the presentations that a lot of my Huntress folks are putting together that have been introducing and chatting more about this term called ClickFix. Have you heard of that?
No, tell us more.
Okay, so some time ago, probably August of 2024, really, maybe about a year now, there was some lure, some social engineering, a lie, deceit that was hitting the streets where you had the I'm not a robot or CAPTCHA sort of checkbox, like you're used to seeing on a forum or any other website. And there was a threat actor. It was Llama Stealer, some of the infostealer malware we've chatted about before. But they were using this as an opportunity to, when you verify you are a human or prove I'm not a robot, they give you these steps.
Oh, yeah.
They say, press the Windows key and R on your keyboard, and then press Control V to paste in whatever configuration code, and then press Enter. Now, for the tech-savvy folks, that's running a command. That's the Windows key and R dialog box. I got to admit, I made a video to showcase it because I thought, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah,
that's
link it below.
Yeah, but I probably had a little bit of an oopsie because I thought, wow, we could make that tradecraft a little bit cooler. We can make that better, make it look more realistic. And that has kind of caught on like wildfire.
So, John, let me just see if I understand this right. You have caused more damage.
I'm not happy about
happened
this.
in the past.
Let me be very clear.
No. But that's the problem, right?
Yeah. Well, it evolved. Some folks use it for, the Google reCAPTCHA or the Cloudflare turnstile. And it got dubbed the name ClickFix because that technique, that idea has been around for a while. But it's now been a little bit more commoditized, and I am at fault for that. I'll be the first to admit. But new conversations are like, this has been the most prevalent attack vector in 2025. And it's almost to a point where it's, I don't want to say replacing phishing. That's absolutely not what I'm getting at. But it's so similar in that, hey, it could be any website you fall across and land on the internet. and then they tell you these steps that maybe a less tech-savvy user would fall for. Because, you're moving quick. You got to verify you're human. You got to click the checkbox. I'm not a robot. You fill out these things. And that has blown up.
Wow.
Not to keep rambling, I'm sorry.
No, go for it. I love these stories.
One of the projects I really am trying to take on and doing now, because it's got a couple different variations. Another researcher dubbed what they called FileFix.
Titled FileFix, a ClickFix alternative.
You open up the File Explorer and you paste in a command in the address bar. Because this has been so much in the spotlight, I really believe, we need kind of a resource for this that documents and catalogs all the different ways this could be done. I think there are obviously a whole lot of new concerns about privacy in Australia and UK, etc. So I think more lies and more scams and more social engineering like this is just going to be even more prevalent. So something that I'm trying to build, and hopefully I'll have it public by the time we get this video out the door. I want a ClickFix wiki where you could see, all the different programs or all the different applications that you could do this technique for, because social engineering is the real crux of the issue here, and getting the education and the awareness out is the most important thing. So
you're talking about like the UK-Australia problem. Are you referring to the fact that people have to upload their personal data and stuff? Because I just see that as an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
So tell us more about that.
Well, imagine a website that says, upload your ID.
Yep.
And you say, okay, we'll fill out this form, we'll provide this file. And they say, hey, we need to finish up one last verification check. Make sure you're providing the real file. So open up ftp.exe, and maybe folks are, that's a weird looking thing. That opens up the command prompt. It's a big black box, maybe a little scary. But you can just use a little special syntax. You add an exclamation point to a line, and then that can run a command. That can run a code. So if someone were to lie to you and say, upload your ID, and then actually upload it via FTP and paste in this configuration code for us, they're going to run a payload. They're going to compromise themselves and run malware. And I know that's just one example. FTP is a weird one, but
it's a good example.
So many other opportunities in a lot of the built-in native Microsoft tools with that FileFix alternative. So you wanted to save a file. So you wanted to open a file, paste in something weird. There's a lot to do. So I'm interested in that project, and I hope we can get that going soon.
You must tell us more about that, because it's just from a privacy point of view, I've made a video on the UK situation. It's the minister in charge is saying we shouldn't use VPNs and stuff like this, and it just seems insane that they are expecting people to upload their IDs to all these random sites.
Right.
And there's different sites that are doing the verification. And like you said, what's stopping a bad John Hammond creating a website and saying, okay, now upload your data and then running this?
Totally.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
It does worry me, and I just think we're going to see a lot more of this lie, scam, social engineering kind of running rampant. They're taking advantage of a lot of the native capabilities of your computer. They just give you the instructions as if you were following through how to set up a printer guide, or connecting to your Wi-Fi guide. You could lie to whatever grandma, grandpa, whatever the case may be. And that is what I think we need to raise more awareness on, because it's the lure, it's the social engineering that is going to say, follow these steps, do this process, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that I want to try and help raise awareness on that front, because it could be a variety of steps, but they tell you press these keys on your keyboard or click this button, hence the name ClickFix. It's growing, and I don't think it's slowing down.
So, John, I'm a slow old guy. Explain that a little bit more, so that perhaps for people who haven't seen your video or don't quite understand exactly what it's about.
Totally. So, hey, if you were browsing the internet and maybe you're on a website, you land on a website that says, hey, we use cookies. Could you accept cookies? Do we have your permission? Do we have your cookie consent to be able to save these local stored cache objects in your computer? And normally folks will just click yes, move along, because they want to work and interact with the website.
Yeah.
And that's just one example, because all of these could be kind of manipulated and sold to you as a lie. But if they say, we had trouble saving your cookies, could you please help us troubleshoot this, verify for us? Why don't you press a special key on your keyboard, like the Windows key and R to run a dialog box, or even just hit Control S and save, like you're opening and saving a file in your web browser or any other application. Something you could do is actually move over to that address bar in the File Explorer, and that kind of pick up choose a file to work with or save or upload, like the ID verification aspect. And if you were to paste in a payload that the website already pre-populated for you, once you hit enter, you are running unintentionally, unknowingly, inadvertently compromising and infecting yourself. But that's kind of the interesting part is, hey, it's just relying on the victim or the user falling for it, but it's been pretty effective.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like someone like you is not going to be easily fooled.
Right.
But like you mentioned, like most people don't have anywhere near your level of expertise, like just some grandma sitting at home. They're going to think, okay, I just need to go through these steps, and they're going to be fooled so easily. So you're saying that's happening a lot out there in the wild.
It is. I think the past year, 2025, that has certainly had an uptick. I do want to add just a little bit of note for us nerds and geeks, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us, maybe system administrators or IT administrators or folks that are trying to, protect organizations and businesses. You can mitigate this. There are a couple like Windows registry tweaks to be able to say, okay, don't allow that functionality, disallow that capability. But there are some folks, maybe you and I, that would kind of gripe at that. They say like, what? As long as you know that you're going to be doing something dangerous there, why would you bother? You don't need to. But there's the key word. As long as you know, and we need to raise that education, raise that awareness, and make sure more folks know.
So, I mean, you said you're going to put a video on your site. You're starting something. Did I understand right?
Yes. And I'm so sorry. This is kind of a long saga.
No, go on.
There was I covered the initial attack vector, the problem way back in August of last year. Following that, when it started to kind of explode, I showcased how you could mitigate this. Here's the registry tweak. Here's how to fix it. And then I really wanted to fall on my sword and say, look, I feel like the internet kind of caught on fire, and it's a little bit of my fault for pouring gasoline. But now I think with a lot of these new, maybe privacy concerns or new regulations or new work to say upload ID, upload verification, I think we're going to see a lot more of this. So a new project that I'm trying to get started, and I'd love to show you, is documenting or archiving or cataloging what these are and what these look like so more people are aware. That's all.
So John, again, this is something that it's a website you're starting, is that right? Can you give us the URL again?
Totally. So clickfix.wiki is the short URL, but it's hosted on GitHub pages. So if you are familiar with sort of the living off the land or the other lol-bass projects, I wanted it to be very, very similar to that. And I actually just had dinner. This is a fun fact. Just had dinner with one of the creators, developers, and maintainers of that lol-bass project and other similar things like this. And he said, John, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
You should do this. I know there's a weird sort of like stomach churning feeling of like, are we accidentally or inadvertently going to be enabling more damage, more wreak havoc? But he says, like, no, you need to help push the industry forward, because if this is the threat, if this is what the world's going to start to and keep seeing, it's more important to archive, document, catalog, and make this info aware. So,
but it's like any information, right, that you put out there. It can be used for good or bad.
Exactly.
And you've got to help the defenders because, like I said, it feels like the attackers have a lot of advantages at the moment.
I've really been struggling with that, truth be told. It's been like, hey, I want to do cool research. I want to help share, wow, these lead hacks, the stuff we can do in the command line and the keyboard. But I'm seeing, it in the wild. And it's no secret, hey, those threat actors or adversaries are going to pick off what are researchers talking about? What are the good guys doing so we can fight back in that cat and mouse game?
Isn't the same thing with SharePoint?
Exactly.
That was a researcher, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I think we'll see that again and again. Microsoft Exchange, maybe another rerun of that for 2025. As I try to ask for a whole lot of advice and mentorship here, and someone had said to me, hey, a road's damaged. Here's the scenario analogy, right? Are we just going to not fix a road because a criminal could use it as to get away from the cops? Like, that's silly.
Yeah.
It needs to be fixed. We need to get these things in action. So,
I mean, the problem is if security researchers don't find it, or they just hide that, someone else is going to eventually find it anyway.
Yeah. And then you're blindsided.
Yeah.
Then it's a 0 day for real. So, interesting conversation. Sorry for rambling.
No, I love it because I mean it's a problem, right? Because do you find that it's getting harder for security researchers because governments aren't happy with what you're doing, or like there's people out there that aren't happy with you guys releasing this stuff, or is it like has it become like respected? Look, security researchers are needed, and companies just accept the fact that they need people like you.
Yeah.
Well, what's your take on that?
A little bit of all of the above.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman, Raphael Mudge, and I hope he's totally cool with me kind of mentioning a lot of his great work. But he's a developer for Cobalt Strike.
Yeah.
Cobalt Strike being, that command and control framework that's extremely prevalent and well-known and oftentimes used for good and bad, because it's designed for the security testing, penetration testing, red teaming, but it could totally just as well be used by bad actors. And he is now, I think, trying to get back into action, back individually as a person. He's trying to write more on his blog, produce a little bit more material and content, and be more present. I think there was a time where he felt that same sort of strange, pulled in two different directions of, is this good? Is this moving the industry forward? Or am I just going to get flamed because, hey, it could be used in bad activity? But he's coming back out and trying to, I think, spread the word in a lot of his blog that, like, this stuff is the way that we push forward.
Yeah.
And I hope that's the right interpretation, Raphael, if you hear this thing.
Yeah, but I mean, if we don't have guys like you, I mean, what do we have? We just left to the bad actors finding this stuff and abusing it. Yeah, so we got to have guys like you.
Yeah.
So let me pivot to this then. Do you think there's a lot of opportunities for younger people or people who want to pivot into this industry and become like you? Are there opportunities still, or do you think AI is taking all the opportunities away? What's your take on that?
Ooh, good question. There are absolutely opportunities. I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, I missed the boat. The window's gone. The opportunity just isn't there anymore. No, AI is cool. It's crazy and incredible, and it's going to give you superpowers. It's worthwhile to know and play in that pool, but don't ever feel like, hey, there's no room left for you or anyone else. Absolutely keep in it.
So do you see there's a lot of opportunities now? It's not like there's few opportunities. There's still plenty of space for people.
To be honest, I like to think there are more, because there's more education out. There's more innovation, more opportunities, more things you can do with AI and all the different spaces that we have now. Technology, cybersecurity is huge. It's massive.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know if you get this on YouTube. I get these comments and I see it posted online.
Yeah.
A lot of people complaining, look, you guys are selling something that's a pipe dream. I've done these certs. I've done this stuff. There's no jobs. But it's great to hear your take that there's a lot of opportunities still. It's not just like people selling nonsense.
And I got to say, I know, getting a job, getting into the industry, kind of breaking in, getting your foot in the door is tough.
Yeah.
It's hard. I can't deny that. I think the best way you can kind of be ready for that and, hey, put on your armor, get some shield and some sword here for you to be able to get in the fight is try to show your work as you're learning. And I know I sound like a broken record. I say this all the time.
But it's important because people might not have seen the previous stuff. So just repeat yourself. Go for it.
It's just exactly putting yourself out there while you're learning, while you are trying to work through these different exercises, activities, capture the flag challenges, tasks, rooms, whatever. Put that on your GitHub. Put it on your website. Showcase it in a video. I know you like to ask, hey, John, how can folks kind of do what you're doing?
Yeah, I want to become like you. It's always my favorite question, right? Like, people are watching. How do I become John Hammond?
Look,
2.0.
There was a time when I was a high school kid, maybe middle school kid even, and I felt like I learned from videos on YouTube. I was looking up tutorials. I was watching folks that were doing this thing and trying to be on the keyboard, be tactical, do the real action stuff. And I thought, I want to test myself to see, do I understand this and can I teach it to other people to prove my own mastery? So I started to make YouTube videos to try to teach tutorials of Python or whatever, PHP, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And if you look back on those old videos, 10 years ago, 11, 15 years ago, they're awful. I have bad syntax properties. I'm using things that I shouldn't, but I kept doing it and I'd get better at it. I'd learn from the folks in the comments. They'd tell me a little bit of feedback. And there was never any intent or goal for it to be big or to be a big YouTuber by any means. It's just because it was fun and it was a passion and I kept doing it. So the biggest thing I can say to anyone wanting to do this thing, keep doing it. Keep doing what's fun, and then it will follow. It will find you, without a doubt.
People always ask this, right? And it's a loaded question. So you know what's coming, right? Certs. Is there any cert you recommend, or is it like you just go self-study? Or, it's a horrible question to ask because there's so many different facets in cybersecurity, so many different paths, right? But like, if I want to become you, any like sort of guidance?
Maybe people are going to get mad at me. Maybe it, ruffle feathers, but I still tend to think OSCP, that offensive security certified professional, that has always earned its recognition and just that industry awareness. I think it's still something that folks know and recognize, without a doubt. there are a whole lot of other opportunities. There are a whole lot of other options, without a doubt, and trying to get them all.
Yeah, you've got like 100,000 certs, John, I think.
Yeah, I can expand on this a little bit more if that's okay.
Go for it.
I know that I was rambling, but like, hey, show your work, get that info out there, prove yourself as you're learning. I hope it's fun and exciting, and you want to be a sponge, like learn as much as you can.
Yeah.
And that's why I was hungry for OSCP, OSEP, whatever, all these different things. I would go on and on and on. Yeah, we hit the double digits of certs, and that's now at this point almost embarrassing, but it's cool. It's fun. I hope that like curious, innovative, that creative, that innovation stuff, that is what can fuel or fire you up so that you get passionate about it and you join in the industry. I think, and I'm getting older, without a doubt. We were talking about that.
I love it when you say that,
recording.
Yeah, you got a lot. You're not old. Go on.
Well, I'm married.
Yep.
Kids are going to be coming eventually. We're moving into new houses, doing things. It's like life is going to get in the way, and once you get into your job, you start to become just a working professional. So I understand you start to hit the wall of fatigue, burnout, mental health, imposter syndrome. That is when, okay, you cashed in, you were working so hard in the early days. Now you've got enough of this foundation for yourself that when the hard stuff begins to hit, hey, you're still kind of where you want to be, and you're happy and you're content with that. I'll be the first to admit I haven't been able to do any certifications or a whole lot of training lately because I'm trying to do my thing now. Yeah. I don't know. Does that make sense? Is that right? Is that wrong?
No, that's exactly right.
Think?
I love that. I mean, it's great advice. I'm quite a bit older than you are, and I think a lot of the stuff that I can always bank on when I work like a crazy man.
Yeah.
There was times in my life when I worked mad.
Yeah.
And I agree
Sleepless
with you
nights. Yeah. Didn't get the vacations or whatever the weekends that you wanted because you were working hard. And it's not the grind or the hustle or any of that. But it's just knowing and understanding, hey, I'm making all the opportunities that I can and bringing luck to me.
It's good foundations.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you build that solid foundation, it sets you up for life.
Totally.
I love that. Now, OSCP is like quite a jump, right?
Yes.
So what do I do before I get there? Because I can't if I'm new to this, I can't jump straight to that. I mean, I suppose I could, but it's like quite a jump.
Yeah. So let me zoom out just a little bit. I think you got to decide, hey, are you more interested in a little bit of blue team defense, hardening, security, maybe the administration and orchestration to get environments up and at them, or are you cool into that lead hacks, red teaming, pen testing, hack, the sexy stuff, right? Yeah. But hey, blue team's still cool. They're doing incredible things. What I normally tell folks, and I'm a huge advocate for capture the flag.
Yeah, you are.
And I admit I haven't been able to dive into them as much as I would have wanted to lately because life and everything we just discussed. But when you're getting your foot in the door, that's the best way to get on keyboard, to do tactical stuff, to learn and to be exposed to new technologies or new security solutions or anything that will help you learn. And those are the foundations. Those are the breadcrumbs or starting steps on the staircase to maybe get to OSCP. Maybe you want to take a crack at Try Hack Me or Hack the Box or just hacking training or any of these cool platforms that are out and about. Use those as those stepping stones while you're on your way to whatever certification you want, whether it be OSCP or anything else.
John, so there's a lot of training out there, and I'm really glad to see that you've actually started something. So perhaps you can tell people about what you're doing, because you're doing some amazing collaborations with people in the industry.
Thank you. Yeah. No secret. We've been doing a couple live streams. We've been trying to spread the word. We've been getting the word out. I have been asked throughout the years, hey, John, when are you going to make a course?
Exactly.
When are you going to make courses? When are you going to get all this course stuff out?
We want to learn from you.
And it's very sweet and it's very fulfilling. But as a YouTuber, making a course is tough.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And I know, hey, with everything else that I'm doing between at Huntress and with, hey, hosting, making the YouTube videos, trying to make sure we can get other capture the flag activities here and there, I was thinking, I can't really do this on my own. So I thought, hey, we have so many incredible connections in the industry, some other incredible people that are doing incredible things. Can I help spotlight them? And would they be willing to help make a really cool thing?
Yeah.
So we have put together, and this is a new venture of Just Hacking Training, or JHT,
I like it.
Fun acronym. And that is the best that I can do to help get out education in a course-like structure. But it's not always courses. It's not always, just that kind of formulaic regiment, one lesson module in the next. We're trying to do a lot of the hack-along material. Because if you've watched a lot of my videos, oftentimes it's, sweet to see it on the screen, but if you want to follow along, I want you to have a virtual environment and to be able to spin up the lab to be able to do it. That's the coolest thing. Other opportunities have been capture the flag, because we've hosted so many different events. I want them to be in an archive place so they have some permanence. It's not just, dead and gone after a weekend. And then we want to make sure stuff is accessible. So we've got what we call upskill challenges that are free. $0. A lot of other offerings are like name your price. You can choose what you want to pay what you want, pay what you can, blah, blah, blah. But that, it's very exciting and very fulfilling to see that come off the ground because we have so many cool people. You got to chat with Michal Khan, who's been doing some OSINT, open source intelligence, and OPSEC, operational security. David Slosh has been building some of the Windows malware development stuff. And we have Ellie Daw for cryptography. We have Slavi Parpula for Active Directory. We have just so many cool people coming together. Those are some of our OG of the cohort of what we call all-stars, our all-star instructors. And I'm in there too. I'm chatting a little bit about the dark web here and there, bringing some script-based malware analysis. But please do check it out if anyone was interested. justhacking.com and Just Hacking Training.
And I'm really glad to see your YouTube channel doing so well. How many subs have you got now?
Yeah, I think we're up to like 2 million, which is unreal.
Congrats, man. If there's anyone in this industry that deserves it.
Well, thank you.
Because you were doing this stuff for so long.
Thank you so much.
I'm really glad to see that it's taken off. John Hammond,
hey,
great to see you, man.
Thank you so much, David.
Appreciate
This has been a blast. Thank you.